Okay, good morning, everyone. I think it's counting down. It's almost 9:30. We've got a few more seconds before it starts to chime in. So, okay, it's Wednesday morning. We're going to go through the 24 movement, modified or actually simplified form. Anyone that has been following will go through the same procedure, warm-ups, few postures, run through the sequence. So the Tai Chi simplified form, although sequentially it's fairly simple, but execution becomes a little bit more challenging because of the downward postures, the balancing, the kicks, and so forth. So, if this form is a little bit too difficult for you to do because you're new at this, you might go to another station like on YouTube where it's our channel that has the Tai Chi Paradigm, which doesn't have the downward postures or the kicks, and that could lead you into either the long form that they teach, and that would have the kicks, or go back to this once you're ready to explore a form that has some challenging movements. You don't want to hurt yourself doing this form simply because that's really counterproductive. That's not the reason why you would pick up Tai Chi. Okay, so we're going to start off with our feet shoulder width, hands up, some limbering up. So we turn our torso, our waist, we're going 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and stop. Okay, hands here. This one's up here. We're going to bend to the side. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Okay? Hands by your side, hands up, reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right, 2, 3. To your left, 2, 3. Center. Inhale, exhale. Okay, hands up, reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right, 2, 3. To your left, center. Inhale, exhale. Okay, hands up, reach down. 1, 2, 3. To your right, 2, 3. To your left, 2, 3. Center. Inhale, exhale. Okay, hands on your waist. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2. Center. Cross. Knees. Circular movements. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, and stop. Reverse. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and stop. Center, hands on your waist, neck, turn. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Back and forth. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and stop. 10, center, tilt. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 1, and 2. Center, hands up. Fold your elbows out to the side, up on your toes. Inhale through your nose and exhale through your nose. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, spread your feet. We're going to turn the shoulders. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Okay, shake it out. Let's turn. We'll do a little bit of stretching. Switch. 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 Switch and straighten the front knee. Go down as deep as you can. Stretch out the back of your legs. And you actually want to keep your back as straight as possible, because you're really stretching your back of your legs, your quads, your hips. And you're not stretching the front, you're stretching the back of the leg. And you want to stretch up as high as you can, way up near the glutes, right up. So the ability to fold over and get closer to your knee should not be trying to get your head on your knee. You should be trying to get your chest to your thigh. And it is sometimes a struggle to get your body to go down as deep as you can, because the muscles don't really release unless you get your body acclimated to the stretch. And you go down and down. You go to the other side and you go down. Like I said, don't force it. Relax into the movement. Then you go to your center. Whether you do a side split or not, it's one thing. Just try to get down. Now, the reason people have trouble sort of touching their toe is because it's tight here. And if you don't stretch the back of your legs, you're going to have problems with your lower back. But if you can stretch with a straight torso and go down, so this is important if you plan to do the stretching, to keep your body as straight as possible. And then you can spread your feet out, and then you can do the squat down on each side. So that works inner thigh. It's, you could try to go to both legs and go into a front split, but that's much more difficult to do. I prefer to have you work one leg at a time, because you're stretching this. Although this is challenging, most people will have problems bending and folding this knee because they're not releasing and sitting into the stance. So sitting into the stance is actually what's required to get into this downward posture. But again, if you have knee problems, maybe avoid doing this till you're ready to do this. And you just go from side to side. And when you go from side to side, you have to really work those inner thigh muscles. So your hands would be like this in downward posture, and your hands would be like this in the downward posture. Okay, shake it out. Okay, next, shoulder rolls. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and stop. Okay, shake it out. Few wrist stretches. Do both sides. So you really, even though you're stretching your wrist, you're stretching your forearm. Okay, and then we're going to stretch. Well, actually move the wrist a little bit like this, circular movements. And then try to get the stretch into the fingers or the joints in the fingers and the palms of your hand, lifting up, straighten your back, work your shoulders, invert the hand. So the flexibility in the wrists and the forearms allows you to push without it tensing, and your hand doesn't want to go beyond a certain level. I mean, everyone's ligaments and tendons are, a little bit slightly different. Some are, maybe stiffer, but some are very flexible. But it really has to do with the length of those tendons. So some people with flexible tendons are really, because they're a little bit longer maybe. But that's an individual thing, because we're made up differently, as individuals. So just work with what you have. You can't really do things that are, beyond your physical anatomy. So just work with what you have. Range of motion is increased by increasing flexibility, but even the range is going to be, a variant that we all have as individuals. Okay, now, after doing the wrists, we're going to work the hips. Okay, so the hips, you make circles, and you make circles in the other direction. I'm just going to do a few of these simply because you could do these as at home, and you can do them on your own. It doesn't take a whole lot of time to do 10 or 12 of these circles. And then you kind of turn out your hip, but turn and drop in the knee, because when you turn and drop in your knee, you kind of increase the flexibility or the range of motion in your ankles. Now when you sit, try not to tilt. The tilting is really a function of your inflexible ankle or not releasing in the ankle. And releasing the ankle is not as easy as said. It's not easy for people that have not relaxed their ankle for decades and decades. So you have to kind of work toward it, but at least keep it, in your mind that that's what really has to happen. Build some flexibility in your ankle. Okay, so that's shaking that out. Deep breathing, inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So let's see what the golden cock rule is like. You stand on one leg. You have to shift your weight and then lift up. Shift your weight and lift up. Now if you hold it, it helps you sustain a position. Actually, it builds a little bit of strength in the upper part of your thigh. That muscle that pulls your leg up is actually on the top of your leg, closer to your hip. And then you lift. Now when you lift, pull up, and then straighten this knee and lift your back. Okay, shake that out. Okay, deep breathing. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Okay, let's do a big movement like this. So this movement will take us to fan through the back, which is actually near the end of the form. So fan through the back would be this. You go to a lean position, fan through the back. So in fan through the back, typically if you switch to the other side and you face this direction, you have the parry to the back fist, and you step out, step up, and punch. Then this left hand goes to the outside. You have leopard and tiger springs to mountain. Okay, try that again. Fan through the back. We turn, parry, hand goes like this, and you punch. Cross the arms, leopard and tiger springs to mountain, and then you go to closing movements. So I don't know if, I put this mirror at an angle. I don't know that one's at the right angle, but hopefully you can see there. I'm not sure if you can see it because I just set that mirror at that angle, not knowing if it's really going to be picked up by that front camera. Now there is a camera on this side that will be able to pick up that position, so you can see that fan through the back, turn, you tilt, and when I tilt, I turn this foot because I'm heading in that direction. You have to set your feet up, and then this is like this. I drop my elbow and I punch, and then I cross the arms, I sit back, and I push. Okay, now closing movements, I would turn toward this corner and then end up back to the parallel stance and close. Now some people close and just stay down. Some people close and extend. So there's two schools of thought on that. I do it with the extension. I like to have the upper and the lower body coordinated. But in the beginning of the form, you want to go down and then stay there. You don't want to go down, then here, and then go down again. So that would kind of break the continuity of the movement. So in the end, I go back to the vertical position and I end to here. And then you would close. So opening would preparation would be spreading your feet and then beginning that, okay? Then the rear joint angle position is important to find this position. So when I teach, I really talk a lot about geometry of position. Not everybody goes into those angular things, but I do, mainly because I think it's the most, it's the best way, I guess, maybe to develop the muscle memory that you're supposed to be looking for. So, nothing's more accurate than a 45 degree or a frontal square position or 90 degrees. So this is really a great tool to measure. Your feet are like this, it's 45 degrees. That's how much you turn your foot out. You turn your foot this way and you go pigeon-toed, you go into a 180 degree turn. That's how we turn in Tai Chi. When you sit in an empty stance like this, and regardless of your brush kneeing, you're turning out 45 degrees, you shift your weight to this position and you open it up and you go in this direction. You can practice this footwork like this. Just stepping up, passing through center, and then coming here. You can turn, you can go forward and back, toe out. So these are really basic fundamentals for stepping. And moving. So in this position, you would have hold the ball. In this position, you have different options. Ward off, part the horse's mane, hold the ball, step up, ward off, part the horse's mane. So those are positions that we have, which are really postures. You have brush knee, one on each side. If I turn, I have brush knee. And you have to adjust your foot to accommodate the direction of your movement. So you have to adjust one foot at a time, and then you step or shift your weight into that leg. So that's the process. You have to shift and then step. You have to brush and then push. Then we have this half step. Half step. So this is really putting the foot close to the front foot behind at the right angle, so that when you step up, you have this, and it only happens with the left foot moving forward and the shift of weight in the back foot, which is your right foot moving forward. So you only have to do one side. You don't have to do both sides. You can do both sides. You want that agility, but actually for learning the form, you only have to do one side. That happens with strum the lute. Before that, it happens with stork flaps wings. Later on, it happens with palm strikes face. When you finish your position and you take your step and you're here and you have palm strikes face. Okay, so you have two views there. You have the position like this. All right. If I step to the corner, I'm moving like that. If I step to this corner, I'm moving like that. So you notice when I move forward, I sink. If I move forward, I sink. So what did I just do? I went through center. A fault would be this. Okay, so what's a fault? A fault is double weighting. So putting weight prematurely in a position before you put your foot down, or you're out of control really in a situation like that. So one of the things about Tai Chi is if people are doing this to improve balance, definitely it's leg work. If you're doing it to control falling or stumbling or tripping, then double weighted would be, a big fault. So if you're going like this, if you step in a crack, then you're so committed into that step that something's got to give. So generally, your ankle's going to get twisted, or you may get your foot caught and your leg's not capable of responding quickly enough, or your body can't respond quickly enough, and you end up collapsing. So that's how you end up falling. The other thing is, because in Tai Chi we keep a vertical spine, if you're going to fall over, the tendency to fall forward would be much greater if your body weight is in front of you. So don't put your weight in front of you. And someone has brought up to me that people are afraid of falling backwards so they end up leaning forward. But actually, that fear that you have of falling backwards won't happen if you keep your body vertical and you keep your breath sort of in your abdomen area. Because your center of gravity should be in the front of your body, but not in the top of your body. Your center of gravity should be here. So if you're stable here, if you tilt like this, then your butt goes out. Falling backwards means your weight went to your heels of your feet. So don't let the weight go to the heels of your feet and you won't end up going backwards. Because once you put your heels to your feet, your center of gravity is behind you, you're going to fall backwards. So to compensate for falling backwards would be to move forward. But moving forward doesn't mean this. Okay, so that's just some advice on how to prevent falls. Now we're going to go through the form now. So we start off, I think I'm going to face this way using that mirror as a line, and we can go this way, right? So we start off. This is preparation, right? Turn. 1, 2. This is part the horse's mane. Done how many times? 3 times. Stork flaps wings. Brush knee and push. How many times? 3 times. And on your third one, and I'm pretty close to the mirror, we'll do the half step to strum the lute. Set up your hands like this, go to the back corner, repulse the monkey 4 times. So we're just doing this for sequence so you can see from the mirror the position. The fourth one, we don't bring this hand back, we stop here, and then we hold the ball again, and we step up, and we're going to do grasp the sparrow's tail, left side, because the left foot is forward, ward off, and press and push. Now we're going to turn to the opposite direction, and we're going to go backwards to the other side. This is grasp the sparrow's tail, right? Sorry, here press and push. Now from here, we turn this way to set up single whip, and we're going back. So that's where we started. So we go from here, and then we go to the cloud hands. We step back, turn here. So that's going side to the left. You're moving to your left. There's 6 hand movements. Once you get back to the position where your feet are like this, you end up going back to single whip. Okay? So I'm going to move back a little. Once you get the single whip, you move to here. Here's your half step, palm strikes face. I'm going to move to the corner, which is 90 degrees to that, well, 45 to the, and then we're going to go to that. So we're really working those corners now. So here, I move up, I do a heel kick, and I go down, I do 2 punches to the ear. Now I have to turn directly to the back side, actually to that corner, and I scoot down, and I do my heel kick, and I set this up, and we're going to downward posture. This goes up to golden cockerel, 1, then I turn this way, I go down, go up, golden cockerel, and then I go to this corner to Jade Lady Work Shuttle in the right. And then I hold the ball again. I go to this corner, Jade Lady Work Shuttle. I shift my weight. I bring this foot right next to it, turn, insert the needle, and here's your fan through the back. So we have an image there. We turn, I don't know if you can see that image, and then parry and punch, set up your punch, leopard and tiger springs to mountain, and I go as slow as I can. Now I'm going to sit back, I turn this foot toward the original starting position, I'm down, I'm up, my weight is on my left, and then I plant this foot so it's shoulder width. I sink my elbows and straighten, hands by your side, and close the form. Okay, so, your goal is to memorize the sequence, obviously, first. After you've memorized the sequence and you can get through the sequence without a lot of, stopping and thinking about what's going on, then you go through some refinement. Improve the positions of your arms, get your shifting of weight and foot position as accurately as possible, so your stance, which is this and this and this, is really your empty stance, and then your archer stance is you're leaning forward and back. So those are really the basic stances, but they're the fundamental stances. So on that note, it's about time we went through all of that. Hope that information was practical and insightful. So if you like this, give us a thumbs up, share this video with anybody that you want, and do the notification button. And we're trying to reach 1,000 subscribers, so I think we're almost there. We might be just shy by about 20 or 25. So we've come a long way since March 15th. So since we're still struggling for that last 25 people.